We are the Brady girls. We are the Brady girls. We know our manners. We spend our tanners. We are respected wherever we go.
My name's Brenda Saffer, was Brenda Black. I was born on the 2nd of June 1940 and I went to Dill Street School in the East End near Hanbury Street, and I started going to Brady Club for afternoon tea from school at the age of 5, where Miss Green was in the canteen and we had jam sandwiches.
Oh, my name's Barbara Newman. It was Barbara Bloom. My date of birth is 27/8/39. And I started going to Brady when I was about 13.
My name is Hannah Lazarus. It was Hannah Abrahams. I was born in Mile End in the East End. Date of birth is the 9th of the 6th, 1939. I went to Robert Montefiore School where I met Barbara, who then took me to the Brady Club, and I was 12 years old.
Irene Feld. It was Yashheim, and therefore I was known as Yash to friends and family. I was born 24/6/32, so went through the war, evacuated to many places, but there was nothing like London and the East End as far as I was concerned. Spent time back through the bombing and everything, the Blitz and everything, because we kept being evacuated to different places but always returned to London. Did not start Brady until I was 16.
My name's Barbara Rubin. It was Barbara Miller. I went to Robert Montefiore School in the East End. Previously to that, I went to Brady Club when I was 11. And we just loved it. It's just made all the friends and met my husband there. And that's another story.
Collingwood House in Cambridge Heath Road was in the East End, and I lived there from the age of 10 until I got married at 20.
And I lived in Collingwood House at the age of 10. Yeah, I was 10. I came from Guildford, by the way. We were evacuated to Guildford, the whole family. And we had a big flat in Collingwood House because there were a lot of children to house. And we had a tremendous life there. And I lived there until I got married at 21. And yeah.
I lived in Aberhaven Road in Mile End, which was right next to the Mile End Odeon at that time, and we lived in the upstairs part of a house. My mum, my two brothers and myself, my parents were divorced. That happened during the war. And from there I moved to Poplar, and then I got married from my grandmother's house in Poplar in 1961.
I lived before the war in the East End, East Tenter Street, in a block of flats, and it was completely brought to the ground during the war. But we survived, as so many other people have done. And then finally lived in Clapton, and friends that lived up the road said come to Brady, which we did, and never looked back, because the friendships that we've made from that club has been unbelievable.
Yeah.
To go through all these years, which I would never have believed I'd know people and be friendly with them over the years, which is wonderful.
When we came back from Dunstable, I was evacuated with my mother and my sister. Unfortunately, my father died in the war. He died of smallpox in India. So it was just my mother and my sister and myself. And then we went to live with my grandfather, who my grandmother had died, and my mother looked after him until he found another lady. And then we had to move out. And we moved out to some flats in the East End. And then we were my mother, like Barbara's mother and Brenda's parents, must have had their names on the council, and we all managed to get a council flat at the same time. these new flats that were built in the East End, they were luxury flats because they were centrally heated, and we were very, very happy to have it. My mother was over the moon to get this flat.
It was safe, you could
fantastic.
do whatever
It was
you
lovely.
wanted to do.
Absolutely
The
fantastic.
best thing of all
Really
was
and truly.
everybody.
Our kids, I feel sorry for the children today because we had the best times and
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't think they'll ever return.
And
Even my children think that.
And there
I
was
think the
They
best
went
thing
to
of all,
visit the grandparents and they could see what kind of a life we had.
yeah. And it was nothing to do with money.
No,
we all had
Nothing
nothing. That's
to
what
do
I was
with
going
money.
to say. We all had nothing.
Yeah.
Material things didn't mean anything to us then. You know, we
As long
were
as
just
our
happy
mothers
to
had a clean
be at a
tablecloth.
Brady club.
Cup of tea, something to eat.
yeah.
Everybody had something to eat whenever they came in each home. In each home, it was that.
And I used to have to get a bus home because the club was in Whitechapel and I lived in Mile End, and my mother was happy for me because it was safe.
Hannah, we had the first job together.
Yeah,
in,
we
in
did.
the Jewish Border Guardians.
Barbara and I, when we left school, our
And you used
first,
to come to me
Yeah.
rather than go home so that we could get to Brady.
our first job was at the Jewish Border Guardians in Middlesex Street. I was in health and convalescent, and
I was in women's girls and
Yeah.
children's. I used to fit the poor children out. I was poor myself. We used to wear a blouse one way one evening this way and then turn it round the next
And we used to
evening.
swap clothes. We used to swap.
yeah, we
We used to
did.
go to a shop in Cambridge Heath Road and buy
Blouse,
$4.99 blouse,
$2.99.
and then we used to swap them over. I went because all my school friends went, and that was the place to go. We used to go straight from
That-
school.
There was
And
two. There was two clubs in the East End. One was Oxford Club, but that was a little bit further away from where we lived. But a lot of people, youngsters our age, went to Oxford Club, but we all went to Brady. And it was the two clubs that you either went to Oxford or you went to Brady. We were all Brady.
I went to Brady because, first of all, I wouldn't have been able to afford to do anything else. Didn't get any pocket money. Never went on a bus or anything because I couldn't afford it. We went to Brady every single night,
We did.
and we were pleased to do activities.
Well, I did try several clubs because I lived in Clapton at the time. Didn't like them, a bit snooty, I thought. It was due to a friend, lived a few doors away, and it meant getting on the trolley bus to the East End, which was about a half-hour journey. But once I went, I liked the atmosphere, I liked the activities, people were friendly, and I thought this is the place for me. And that's how it started and stayed.
I went because Barbara took me, because we was in the same class at school, and my brother, my youngest brother, though he's older than me, he was going there and he said I should go as well. So that's when I started going to Brady. I was 12.
I went because there was a lot of my friends that were going to Brady, and I wanted to be with them, and I loved it. We just loved it. We looked forward to it every day. I didn't go every day. I went twice a week.
I think it was a lot to do with, at the time, that religion came into it, didn't
Yeah.
it? To be with Jewish people.
And to
Yeah.
teach us the Jewish
And-
way of life,
Yes.
more than
Yes.
anything.
We used to have religious classes. We had drama classes. We had PE. We had everything. Everything. It
Yeah.
was fantastic.
I think
Absolutely.
it was to give a sense of stability.
I think
More
it was
than
Miriam
anything else.
Moses.
And to
Miriam
respect.
Moses.
And we
Yeah.
had a lot of respect for our elders. We weren't religious as such.
Obviously, we had prayers,
I can't remember
and it
her
was,
name.
yes, and holidays were respected, and I mean, we were taught, yes, we knew we were Jewish, and as it was run. In fact, there was just one girl on a photo here, and I think she was the only non-Jewish girl there. I mean, she fitted in wonderfully. I mean, anyone could have joined, but it was primarily a Jewish club.
at the back of the club, there was a stage. Behind the stage, if I can remember, there was accommodation where people that had no homes used to live there.
Yeah,
Oh,
really
yes, I remember that.
Yeah,
I can
on the
remember.
canteen, from the canteen.
Yeah, we used to go from school, and because we had showers, because my house never had bathroom or shower, we had to have the shower, a bath brought up, you know.
Yeah.
And so from school, we went to the club, and that's where I had my showers.
Yeah.
It was a whole different world, really.
It was.
A very, very caring
Definitely.
woman. With
Caring
hard
woman, but
surface,
very, very
but a
strict.
very caring
Who's
woman.
that?
Strict,
Yeah.
wasn't
Yeah.
there?
Yeah.
in
Miss
Moses?
Moses?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah.
No, we just get on too great.
Miriam Moses was at JP in the East End, and they've got a plaque, haven't they?
Outside the club.
Outside.
And they got one in that street we went to,
Yeah.
in the East End. I don't know what it was called.
She was
No,
a
it
very
wasn't Chicks Lane
caring
Street.
person. When the club, all the girls, we went to Switzerland and that, and my mum approached her because she was a single family, and she said, I don't think Hannah can go because I can't afford it. And she paid for it for me to go at that time. So she didn't want anybody left out or because of money wise. And that was the type of person she was.
And she lived in a flat in the building, in the Brady building, in the girls' club. She had a flat up above. We never ever went there.
No.
She did
She
get
was a
married.
marvellous woman and did wonderful things, but she was extremely strict,
Yes.
and I was terrified of her.
Uh-huh. I wasn't.
And I think a lot of people were, but nevertheless, she knew what it was all about and probably had to be like that with a load of girls that
Yeah.
probably run riot. One incident, there was a boat trip, and that was when the boys and the girls mingled on the odd occasions they did. And I think I was just standing chatting with my future husband, who I didn't know was going to be future, and I think she saw us. And I think we had to go and see her when we returned. You'd have thought, goodness only knows what we were only staying talking.
She was soft and lovely.
She was softer.
Very
Yeah.
nice.
And she was very, very caring. She joined in with all the
Yeah.
kids, didn't she?
Yeah, she was fun.
She was lovely.
Betty Benjamin and Miriam Moses, they both came to our wedding, which was lovely, really lovely.
You
Sat on-
invited them.
I did invite them.
They wouldn't have gone
They wouldn't have come.
uninvited.
But they did both come.
And Miriam Moses was on This Is Your Life. That was a lovely thing. We had a television at that time.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were all late having a television.
No, she just organised them all, and they had different people for the different activities to run them, and their interests, obviously.
We used to do drama with a Miss Berman. It was amazing. We used to put on fantastic shows. And then we used to do concert parties. We did PE, we
Netball.
did art, netball.
I was in the netball
Yeah, I
team.
was in the
We did-
netball
So
team.
All sorts.
I used to go track running from Brady.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's-
you went on a
Twice.
Tuesday, I never went on a
Yeah,
Tuesday.
I went nearly every night.
I used to
Right.
love our displays.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the
Marvellous
Duke of
displays.
Edinburgh came to one of them.
And
Yeah.
Princess Margaret came, didn't she?
Yeah.
She
Yeah.
came once.
That was exciting. In the fog, there was one
we
one
walked,
year,
didn't we?
and we walked from where we lived in Collingwood
Oh.
House for the
We walked
thing.
with
and
candles.
It was frightening, and yet we got there and we still carried on, and we had our
Yeah, I
our
was
display.
on a bus with a policeman leading
Yeah,
it with a
yeah,
lantern
yeah.
coming home. Very early
Oh
50s.
yes.
With very thick fog.
We always had fog every year, didn't we?
Yeah, and if you
So-
got on a bus and it got too thick, the policeman used to come and guide us along with a lantern.
That was when there were police about.
The boys used to come over
9:30.
And then with social we used to start.
Till 10:30.
till 10:30.
That's 10.
We
Yeah.
used to go home.
And then we used to go to Johnny Isaac's for fish and chips in Whitechapel Road. And then or on to Sam's Super Special for a drink.
Yeah.
I'm talking
Lovely.
about lemonade.
Lemonade.
Ice cream in lemonade.
Oh,
that was a
was
super
Lovely.
delicious.
Yeah, the,
Lovely.
Wasn't it?
the social
Delicious.
evenings were very important.
Yeah.
I was on the social committee and we used to choose the records that we wanted. Also, it was very nice to organise it so there were plenty of dances where the women could ask the men, because that suited us very well. We wouldn't have missed a Sunday social for
No.
anything.
No.
You know,
Can I just
you
say,
just had
Sunday social was the
had to
only
be
one we
there.
dressed up for.
I look forward to the boys coming over.
Jiving.
Jiving, it was slow dance. Oh, Nat King Cole.
Can.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nat King Cole, that he was the one, the slow dancers, weren't they?
We used
Yeah.
to have all the new records. All
Any-
the new records that
yeah.
came out, we always got them.
Frank
It was
Sinatra.
definitely Johnny
Oh,
Ray.
Frank Sinatra, I was the Bobby Sox girl. so
Yeah, we love Frank Sinatra.
Yeah.
We
And,
liked all
and
the-
it used for the rock and roll used to be Bill Haley.
Stars
and-
of
Bill Haley.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was there Lonnie Donegan? Did we used to
Yeah,
play Lonnie
Lonnie
Donegan?
Donegan.
Yeah. Yeah. We all went down by coach. It was during the summer holidays, and it was a girls' boarding school. So we was all had rooms. We dormitories, I think. we was in.
Dormitories.
We was all in dormitories, and then from there we used to do day trips
Yeah.
and go out and do things. But our main base was at Little Hampton School, and it was a week's holiday.
Yeah, a week's
I can remember
holiday,
the
but-
wash basins.
Yeah, but we did have activities all the time.
Yeah, yeah.
Lovely.
We
Yeah.
did.
It was all, and it was all from the club,
Yeah.
and it was all organised. The managers that run the club organised things for there.
Yeah.
So we was occupied the whole week we was
Did
there.
we go to Brackwisham Bay from the club? Where did we go
No,
to
that was
Brackwisham
from
Bay?
school.
Was
I
it?
couldn't afford
We went
it.
to Deal, and we went for outings. I think
Yeah,
they took us for
games.
outings on the
Took us-
coach from there
Yeah.
further into the countryside.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you, I don't remember
And
going
then
to the
we
sea.
used to go out and buy our
Used to buy
parents a
presents.
little present. So
Yeah.
that was an afternoon out.
We used to go
Yeah, we used
And
to get.
weekends.
because it used to be the girls' weekend, and then another weekend was
yeah,
the boys'
that-
And
weekend.
then it used to be mixed.
And age
Then
groups.
there used to be
And
mixed.
only
More or
every
less
so
age
often.
groups.
Yeah.
Oh, Yogi, you obviously heard of Yogi. He
Oh,
ran the
he was
weekends. He was
fantastic.
marvellous.
When it was a mixed
boys'
group, the
club.
boys used to camp out and the girls used to have the
Yeah.
house. Yeah. But we used to have fun on the girls' only weekends.
Yeah.
Marvellous. And the mixed weekends were nice.
The
Yeah.
mixed weekends were nice.
Used to be on the fields and doing
Yeah.
all sorts.
We used to go for walks.
We all used
Always
to
walk.
I always went for
Always
walks.
walk.
potatoes
Oh,
for
yeah.
dinner.
A spud
Spud
bashing.
Years
We used to
ago,
do
we
that in
used
the
to do
morning.
the housework before we left ski.
Yeah.
Yes,
We
everything
used to
had
clean
be
all the
done.
dormitories,
Clean
all the
You
bathrooms,
were
toilets,
responsible
everything.
for
We
your
all did
dormitory.
it between us.
Yeah.
And we eventually, when we were still at ski as adults, we had a guy that brought the pensioners down, and they had the most fantastic day there. And
Shame they don't do
Did it?
for us.
oh,
We
it
did
was
it.
hard work,
Yeah.
but it was fabulous because that was their big day of the year. They came down on coaches.
The old boat.
They
Brady.
just
Just the
about
people.
managed to get the coaches down the lanes there, and there were about 8 of us doing the cooking, and they had a 3-course meal. They had coffee when they got
Yeah.
tea when they got there, 3-course
Marvellous
meal.
it
My
was.
sisters came down and made a lot of food. And
There must be more than 8 of us, Bob, because
Pardon?
there was all of us. There was Roz, there was Hazel. There
Yeah.
must have been
There was quite a few.
quite a few. And they used to come down and we used to give them drinks when they first got off the
Yeah.
coach, and then we had
proper course
entertainment.
meal.
It used to be the
The old
Mozartovs.
boys did
Yeah.
the entertainment. Laurie
Yeah.
Bloom,
Yeah,
What did they call themselves?
The
the
muzzle
muzzle
toss.
toss.
The muzzle toss.
Yeah,
And all those old people that they entertained, we entertained.
Thought someone would do it for us, but no one's done it.
But we always used to make sure that when they left, they each had a carrier bag
Yeah.
of food to take home with
We
them.
used to collect tins. People used to give us tins of beans, salmon,
Whatever.
whatever you gave them. They didn't want that. They wanted something else.